Welcome to another episode of A&P Spot Talk. Today, we have two special gentlemen. We have over here to my left, Neil Estrada, and to my right, Edwin Baloy. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Doing good. Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you for coming. It's another, Spot Talk here where you guys will be on the spot. Let's talk about Filipino American Leadership Foundation. How did you guys formulate it? Why you guys are moving forward with it? What's your mission? What's your vision? Tell me all.
Yes, so much to talk about here, and then I know we have a little bit of time here. It all goes back to my own college experience, and then I'm sure a lot of it played into what Neil experienced as well when he went to Cal State Fullerton. I was one of those where I was actually pretty well off my freshman year, got a full ride. My parents bought me a new car. Mm-hmm. I was living life.
All right.
And then if a lot of people remember, during the 90s, there was a recession that hit, and it hit our family hard. And then one day my mom just tells me, I can't pay your rent. I can't pay your tuition anymore. And I was already living out of my parents' house at that time. So I actually had to drop out of school and then work for minimum wage. There's a lot more of the details that I won't necessarily cover, but then it was a lot of hardship for me. And then fast forward to today, I definitely want to find students who are in that situation and make sure they don't drop out. I did end up graduating, but then it took a lot of soul searching, took a lot of family money and all that. But then I want to be able to help someone in that kind of situation where they didn't qualify on paper, but then we want to get them graduated, get them into making an income. Right. Because the 38%, according to collegedata.com, drop out of college due to financial reasons.
Wow,
yes.
38%. It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And yourself, Neil?
Well, I'm a graduate of Cal State Fullerton and product of the ABC Unified School District out here in Cerritos.
We all are.
Yes.
Shout out, yes. And so for me, in college, I remember me, my brother, and my sister, we all were in college at the same time. My parents didn't qualify for any student loans, right? So I was wondering, how we got through college altogether, because I know it was a big expense. But I later found out my parents refied the house in order to afford it. And then at the same time, for me to continue, I had to, get a job at the bank at Wells Fargo to make everything work out. So I specifically remember back at Cal State Fullerton, I don't ever recall having any entity approach our club and talk about scholarships specifically for like our Filipino Americans that are there. And so this is a calling that me and Edwin have had for a few years now, and we just want to continue it because you never know who you can affect out there in a positive way.
Right. Now, was there FOSA back in the 90s? There was, right? The FOSA.
Yeah.
There were, right?
Yeah, it was good thing you brought that up because I just had a random thought in my head. My kid's applying for colleges today.
Okay.
So we're going through the whole thing, and I actually sat in on a financial aid workshop. Here's the most eye-opening thing, and then this is why I'm so glad we're doing this cause, is they put up a slide up there, and it showed the income levels of like the maximums you could be if you have a household of 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And of course, the incomes, they allow you to go higher and higher. That income table really hasn't changed much since the 90s. And then since then, I was attending Cal Poly Pomona, and I think a quarter cost me like $700 when I graduated. It's not $700 today.
Right.
So if you can imagine, they're still sticking to those tables, which is only adjusted a little bit, but then costs have skyrocketed. I was living in an apartment with 5 other guys, and my share was $200. That's not going to happen today. So it's a bigger need today. The gap's widening of how much the college kids are going to need.
So the financial burden in terms of being Filipino American, you feel that's a bigger need now than back in the 90s? Do you feel that it's just there are more students today that are lacking the financial support going to college?
Yeah, well, there's a few things that where the challenge has grown now, as opposed to I'm thinking about my 18-year-old self back then versus if I were 18 today. There's more people applying to colleges because of the international students, and also the colleges haven't increased their capacity. So there's more applying to colleges. There seems to be, I'm not going to get political, but there seems to be quotas. And then unfortunately, Filipinos might fall into Asian these days.
Okay.
So then that's another mark going up against us. And then, of course, you go into McDonald's today. Your Big Mac meal is going to cost you what, $12 or something like that. So the cost of everything has really gone up. Incomes haven't really gone up to kind of coincide with it. So the challenges just keep growing and growing.
Now, in terms of online colleges, now fast forward to the 2021, there's a lot of online colleges now. Is that affecting the financial burden of students, of Filipino American students? Online college versus, like, back in our days, we had DeVry, we had these, we have obviously the UC, the Cal States, but in terms of now, there's a lot of West Coast online.
Yeah.
Are the tuition more expensive now? And because you don't go physically to school, you go to school at your house, save a lot of resources, right? So is that concept, or is that, how does that directly affect in terms of getting a scholarship? Like, why would a student get a scholarship? I mean, why? I mean, it seems like you don't have to drive no more. We have COVID.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about parking. Now, is it true at Cal State that you have to live on campus or UC for 2 years or a year?
Well, there was a lot of this, and it might not be 100% accurate because I'm just going to go by what the other parents applying have told me as well, and then so what our friends have been doing out there. So then there are a few questions in there. The first one is what kind of landscape or how's things changed with the online schools and I think the tech schools.
Right.
So that's a good thing because remember we talk about all this demand and all these people applying to Cal States and UCs. And the capacity is just not there.
Right.
So then that's where your Grand Canyon universities and your DeVry's and then American Career College and all those start filling the supply. So there are friends of mine. I'm sure Neil could say the same thing where they probably started off in a UC or even a Cal State, and it was just taking too long. They couldn't get the classes they wanted. Screw it. I'm just going to go finish my bachelor's over at DeVry. So I think that's a good thing. But we'll have to see how the employers treat it. Okay, it's still an education from an accredited school, but then we'll see if they still treat it the same. One of the biggest reasons why people go to a college like USC is because of the network. You're buying the network there. So a lot of those other colleges, that network's not as strong or it's non-existent.
I see. So Phil-Am scholarship. What was your vision when you guys are already Filipino American Leadership Foundation? How did specifically come to a scholarship foundation? Did you guys collect money? How did you get the funds to go out to these colleges, and specifically colleges with a Filipino club? Now, is it true that majority of the Cal State, the universities, UC and community colleges have a Filipino club?
A lot of them do that are out there. And then you'll see a lot of them come out to Friendship Games, right? That's the largest collegiate gathering of Filipino Americans in the country. So you'll see a great number of schools that are out there. But, how we came about was we were part of the Filipino American Chamber of Commerce at the time. And there was an opportunity that Edwin and former President Edith Andres had where they wanted to award some scholarships to some worthy students, right? So there was that need there, and there was a gap that we wanted to plug into as a chamber where we can do something a little bit different, where we can actually, once again, affect a young person's life because we weren't getting these opportunities or we didn't know of these opportunities growing up. So the funds that were raised there, they weren't from any grants or anything. We did our own fundraising through our Filipino Chamber of Commerce. And we actually appropriated those funds according to how much we had collected and how many students we were going to support that year.
How does one apply? Now, tell me the application process and how to get a scholarship through the Phil-Am American Leadership Foundation.
And then it's probably a good segue to talk about some of the outreach that we did because it directly ties into the applications.
Sure.
But then I wanted to ask Neil, because of what we would go out there and do is we would visit the local college campuses.
Right.
And keep in mind, we didn't graduate last year from college, so it's been a while. It's been a while outside of tailgating at USC to step foot on college campuses. So we went out there and we thought it was a fun way for us to do outreach. And then Neil, tell us which was your favorite campus to go visit and why was that?
Well, I don't want to be biased, but I'm a Cal State Fullerton graduate, so That was my favorite because it was cool to interact with the club and partake in their activities instead of just going there like pitching what we plan to do. Right. Me and Edwin and some of our other board of directors went out there. We had our little mission statement to help them out, but at the same time, right, we were one of them during their club meeting, right? So we were fully partaking in whatever activities.
I'll get Joe the video clip too. Of us out there.
What year was this when you first started?
This was 2016. So he's the man coming back to his old stomping grounds on campus because he's ex-president of FASA. And so we're going out there, and then like you said, we actually would participate, and we dress down on purpose. We're not dressed up in suits or anything like that, and we participate with the club.
That's awesome. I mean, that's awesome. That
people didn't know who we were. You know what I mean? They thought Edwin was a creepy uncle. So,
they were right.
Whose dad is this taking ceramics?
So it was cool. He would go out there, and then when we're talking, we don't have a microphone or anything like that. We're just sitting there under one of the Titan bridges. I forget what it's called.
Oh, wasn't even a Filipino
library.
It wasn't a Filipino meeting.
It was. It was PASA's meeting Wednesdays 4 p.m.
All right.
Just giving you an idea though, because keep in mind, I went to Cal Poly where Barcata would have maybe 50 in the room at one time. So I'm just blown away. We're out there in an outdoor venue, and it's a couple hundred people.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're sitting there, and you literally have to yell to get your message out there. So that was fun for him. Of course, you guess which one's my favorite.
USC.
Yes. Right? So USC's on the other end of the spectrum because you got USC, you got Cal State Fullerton, UCI, where they pack in like a couple hundred. And then USC, there's not that many Filipino students on campus. So with their small group, it's more intimate. They literally go in a classroom, and I think they probably had like 30 kids or something like that. But they make a lot of noise. So then I'll get Joe the clip of that. But that was actually my most favorite because of the participation level. And if you're comparing UCLA versus USC, the stereotypes couldn't have been any more true. They're almost like polar opposites. You got a lot of kids over at UCLA, and then a few over at USC, but they're a tight-knit group.
Okay, so 2016, about how many colleges you guys visited? 2016.
See, it was
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Was it 5? It was Fullerton, Irvine, USC, UCLA, and was there? Did we visit Long Beach or no?
No, it was those 4.
Okay, it was 4.
Okay, and then after the years, now we're at 2021. What was the growth pattern? 5 in 2002, 2016. 4. Then what? 6, 7, and
it actually kind of condensed. Because we started getting pretty limited on how much outreach we could. Keep in mind, Neil and I don't do this for a living, so we have to go back to our day jobs. So the first year we were able to spend that much energy into it. So then the later years we stuck to the Orange County schools with Cal State Fullerton and UCI. I'd personally love to go back out there and go to SC again.
Right. Okay. So now we have this group in 2021, right? Tell me the board, or tell me the group members in the scholarship.
Well, one of them you're looking at right over here with the cool sunglasses.
We'll start off at the least best
Yes,
looking.
I am. Yes, I am one of the boards. Thank you for inviting me. I love the cause. I love the energy. And I think, for me, I love the youth. I think the youth is our future. I think, I hopefully I could influence them to be successful business owners or successful nurse or entrepreneur or whatever it may be. So thank you for inviting me.
Then we have another one, MXDL. So he's another nonprofit leader for Philly-Orem, and that's for like a children's nonprofit. We also have Jen Fontanilla, and she's part of our board as well, myself.
And she's a UCR grad.
Yes.
Neil's the Cal State Fullerton grad, and then myself as the founder, I'm from Cal Poly Pomona.
Right. So we do... Emax and Jen, we do miss you, okay? So we'll get you on here. All right, so we have this group now. Now, what do you think is our goal now to reach how many schools this year, guys?
Of course, we all have our opinions when we have these board meetings, but then I would like to eventually get more focused and then give some full rides eventually. So rather than giving a lot of little $100 scholarships, we get to the point where we're able to award a full ride. But then, of course, it's going to be all up to the board members' input.
All right. And how does one apply?
Well, philamscholarship.com, right? You can go right over there and you can simply look at the donation levels.
Okay.
Of course, donate as you please. We appreciate any funds that you can, part with and help our students out with.
Yes, I want a special shout out to SSA House located in Bellflower. They are a gold sponsor. And I want to thank you very much for that. And all the others out there listening right now, go on the website, philamscholarship.com, and please donate. We have also a silent auction. Is that correct?
Yeah. So during the event, and if you're not able to attend the event, we'll allow bidding on our website, philamscholarship.com. We'll have a number of gifts out there. One of them is a one-night stay over at the Great Wolf Lodge.
Nice.
To get a family there with water park passes. We have a wine set as well that we'll be auctioning, and a lot of other gifts.
And Neil, when's the date and location?
It's November 10th from 6 p.m. to 8:30 over at the Shadow Park Clubhouse.
Yes.
Okay. And there is raffles, by the way, and you can purchase those raffle tickets right online as well.
Now, there's no unlimited in purchasing the raffle tickets. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's no limit on it, but then if you're going to do that, you might as well be one of the designated donor levels, right? Because we have the silver, gold, and platinum levels.
Okay, and what's the best vehicle to donate? PayPal, check, credit card?
We accept all of them.
Yeah. Okay.
We accept all of them. Not Bitcoin at this time, but we do accept all of them, preferably through the website, because you'll get your receipt, which would be a tax qualifying event for you. Tax deductible event for you, and where we put our tax ID number on there, and you get a write off.
All right. What's your guys' vision in the next 5 years from this scholarship foundation that you guys?
Well, we all have, I think, our own visions, individually as a board of director, but really, like Edwin stated, hopefully one day we can actually send a few students on a full ride. That would be awesome, right? But it's going to take the help of many people out there, many businesses, and other individuals to have that caring heart so that we can go ahead and get that accomplished. But this is just the start. So I'm glad we have this nonprofit up so people are aware and students will be more aware of who we are and what we can do to help them out.
Can you tell me any just real quick successful stories of students who received a scholarship or help from the foundation when you guys were doing it, just you two, and where they're at now? Any?
Yeah, well, I keep in touch with just about every single one of them, at least through social media. Some of them will text me once in a while.
How many students are there?
We're in double digits, so
we are.
Least, right?
Yeah, because the first year I think we helped out at least 5, right? Okay. 5 individuals, if not more. Yeah. Because there's one from, I think USC had quite a few.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. So I think we're in the double. We're in the double digits.
Double digit. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then I'm assuming there's tracking, right? We have retention analysis where we follow up on them.
Yeah,
on their journey.
We do. Okay. All of them are in prominent careers right now. Of course, some ran into their struggles just like you would with anything in life. But I would say all of them's doing well.
Yeah, we've seen it on social media where they've actually connected with some people who are very noteworthy in the Filipino American community, where they've done some good work for them. Yeah, they've been recognized. So.
Come to think about it, the year that Neil became president, we had our gala on a yacht, and then we're presenting one of the scholarships to Raven Castro at that time. I think that was 2016, 2017. And then I reached out to Raven like last week, and he's in New York now. So then that's kind of it. Really is the Big Apple. So he's got his sights set high.
So any given year, it could be 3, 1, 2, 10. What?
We've never given out less than 2.
Yeah. Never.
Okay, so 2.
Yep.
Yeah, and then with you on the board, we'll be working towards giving a nursing scholarship.
Yes. All those very, as you know, medical field. There's a very heavy need.
Yeah.
Heavy. There has to be a push because all the nurses and doctors are getting old now, guys. As we're growing old, and the population is exponentially growing. There's no way it's ever going to keep up, right? So,
and for the nurses that are out there who actually get the scholarship, comes with a free application to AMP Staffing.
Correct. Correct. But great. I mean, is there any other information you want to tell about the event on November 10th? Like, are they supposed to bring something? How are they supposed to dress? Can they dress casual?
Yeah. So come as you please. I think majority on a weekday event come dressed in their work attire, but then come as you feel comfortable. Wear a mask if you'd want to. However you feel safe. We do have a patio for an outdoor type of setting. It's a little hybrid, where it's half indoors, half outdoors, like our Philam event over at Art Cafe. So register at PhilAmScholarship.com. Let us know that you'll be there. Include you in our head count, because at some point we will have to shut down registration because it is a limited capacity event. If you can't attend, please donate, even as low as $20 over on PhilAmScholarship.com. And then if you're in person, just mingle with everyone, introduce yourself to
networking event.
Yeah.
Networking event.
And then we won't let anybody sit there by themselves. We'll introduce ourselves to you, and then let us know you're new. If you're just coming around, come by yourself even.
Okay. And then can you tell me about the sponsorship packages?
So we have a number of ways you could contribute. So you could be a sponsor for the event. And then we have a few options. Go to our website, PhilAmScholarship.com. And then we have 3 donor levels. We have a gold level, the highest one's a platinum level, and then we also have silver.
Okay, so platinum, gold, and silver.
Right. And what it does when you're a donor is you're not limited to just being recognized just for that event. We're going to recognize you for the entire fiscal year.
Nice.
From fundraiser in 2021 to fundraiser in 2022. You'd be on all of our communications. You'll be on all of our social media. You get to congratulate the scholars if you're at the gold level and above, and then have your company logo on there.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. And, more power to us as we try to help these college students, strive to reach those financial goals, to graduate college, and to contribute back to society. So thank you very much. Filipino American Leadership Foundation. Again, Neil Estrada, Edmund Baloy, myself, Lena Tividad. Please support us. Teamwork makes the dream work. Without you guys out there, we won't have a cause. So our cause is your cause. Please help us. Again, PhilAm American Leadership Foundation, PhilAmScholarship.com. Please donate and help us out. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.